Death. Noun. 1. Countable. The fact of somebody dying or being killed. A sudden, violent, peaceful, etc. death. The anniversary of his wife's death. An increase in death from cancer. He died a slow and painful death. Related entries. Death. 2. Uncountable. The end of life. The state of being dead. 2 children were burnt to death in the fire. They died as a result of the fire. He's drinking himself to death so that it will kill him. Police are trying to establish the cause of death. Do you believe in life after death? A death camp. A place where prisoners are killed, usually in a war. He was sentenced to death, to be executed. 3. Uncountable. Death of something. The permanent end or destruction of something. The death of all my plans. The death of fascism. 4. Also, death. Uncountable. Literary. The power that destroys life, imagined as human in form. Death is often shown in paintings as a human skeleton. Death marched in and took him away. See also, sudden death. Extra examples. By 1740, European feudalism was in its death throes. By publicly condemning the terrorists, he was signing his own death warrant. Chicago's birth and death records. Delivering on time is a matter of life and death for a small company. Do you believe in life after death? 4 prisoners were under sentence of death. He died as a prisoner of war in an enemy death camp. He escaped death by inches when a tree fell on his tent. He had been miraculously saved from almost certain death. He met his death 2 years later. He took drugs as if he had some kind of death wish. He witnessed the death of his mother from tuberculosis. Her death came at the age of 82. His face looked more peaceful in death than it had during his last days. How far would they go to avenge the death of their friend? If found guilty of drug trafficking, the pair could face the death penalty. Incest was punishable by death. It was clear that the dog was near death. It's a curious sensation, knowing that your death is approaching soon. It's easier to trace ancestors if you know their birth or death dates. More deaths occur in winter. More than 30% of all cancer deaths in the country could be attributed to smoking. No deaths from the disease have been recorded since 1990. Obesity is a leading cause of preventable death. On Samuel's death, the farm passed to his sons. Paramilitary death squads are operating in the area. Paramilitary death squads are rumored to be operating in the area. People can sue for wrongful death. Police are not treating the death as suspicious. Police report a decrease in violent death. Poor living conditions could lead to early death. She died a slow and painful death. She faked her own death so he couldn't find her. The actor has received death threats since appearing in the controversial film. The average age at death of plague victims was 14. The bombing resulted in many civilian deaths. The brutal attack resulted in the man's death. The coroner said the cause of death was a stroke. The death toll in the earthquake has been put at over 1,000. The government's campaign aims to cut the death rate from heart attacks. The most common cause of neonatal death is birth defects. The movie contains plenty of death scenes. The president's untimely death has thrown the country into chaos. The prisoners were sent on a death march through the jungle. The snake was writhing in its death agonies. There are currently over 3,000 prisoners on death row. They are still mourning the death of their daughter. Torching the wires means instant death. 2 deaths from cholera have been reported. What kind of man orders the death of his own sister? Women accounted for 2% of all combat deaths. Your next of kin will receive death benefit if you die in an accident. A death notice in the newspaper. A service to commemorate the death of thousands of soldiers. A verdict of accidental death. An increase in drug overdose death. Death by starvation. Death resulting from disease. Drugs which will hasten the death of a terminally ill patient. Needless death in a war created by hatred. The drivers who bring death to our roads. The living death of captivity. The tragic death of their son. Police are still trying to establish the cause of death. 2 children were burnt to death in the fire. A sudden, violent, peaceful death. The anniversary of his wife's death.